was sent.
There we go. Okay. All right, we should be, let's see, we're only gonna have, Jerry can't make it either, so we're really short of, a group. We have, Brad, Leslie, and you are acting chair.
Okay.
So the only thing we have tonight, well, I'll let you open it, but the only thing we have tonight is, we have, Ms. Morales with 6 Glendale's requesting a, continuance, and we have some minutes if we want to do those.
Okay, great. Thanks, Bill.
Oh, wait, Paul was here.
Oh, yeah. It looks like he's not on anymore.
He said it was going to be. Let's see. Well,
we could do minutes, but wouldn't we? Well, we would need him for the continuance.
we don't need him for no, for 3 we can. Oh, here's Paul now. Anyway.
Looks like he's still connecting.
Yeah.
Make sure he's on.
And
Paul, are you back with us before we start? You dropped off for a second.
he's in the boondocks somewhere, he said.
I see his name.
Paul,
Well,
can you hear us? No, I guess he can't. Paul, if you can hear us, why don't you text me? And we're going to go ahead and start with 3. If the board is not inclined to grant the continuance, we'll have to get.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
yes. Great.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Madam Chair.
Thanks, Paul. All right, then I will go ahead and call this meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals to order and officially open it at 7:06 on May 22nd, 2024. We have a short agenda today. The first item is the approval of the March 25th, 2024 minutes. Does anyone have any comments or corrections on
I didn't
those?
see anything.
That's a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
Do you need more time, Paul?
Well, I skimmed them in the last 30 seconds and it looks like that's the kind of stuff we did, but I did not proofread it.
We can
I'll
hold them for the next meeting if you'd prefer more time, Paul.
No, it's fine because there's no decisions that we made that month. It was simply in-house discussion, I think.
Yep.
So from the headings I saw, it looked pretty good,
Okay.
but I'll accept them as a vote for them or whatever.
Okay, so I make a motion that we accept the minutes of the March 26, 2024 meeting of the Maynard Zoning Board of Appeals.
I second the motion.
Thanks, Brad. And then roll call vote. Leslie,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Paul,
Yeah.
and I'm also a yes. So that is passed.
Yep.
Then the second item on the agenda is the public hearing for Glendale Street. This hearing was opened and continued from our last meeting on April 22nd, 2024. Bill, do I need to read the legal notice since it's a continuance, or can we just?
I think you can allude to it. It's in the previous
Okay.
minutes and
All right.
adopt them by reference. And
Yeah.
I did receive from Ms. Morales, I sent you all those requests for continuance, and I'll let her explain further. But I think it's it would be a good thing to give us some more time to work
Mhm.
towards a resolution.
Sure, yeah, and I understand the continuation was requested just for that reason, to help clarify the request and some of the uses. Ms. Morales, do you want to speak or provide any additional information about the request?
Yeah, I was just requesting a continuance because I've been working with Bill and the staff at the town hall, just so I can make sure that what concerns may arise, like, we can provide what, so we can be approved.
My hope, Madam Chair, is what staff is trying to do is determine, get a crystal clear understanding of the request to provide to the board, and with the hope that the applicant can work with the board, the abutters, whoever needs to address concerns to a level that and I can bring the zoning board then a application with there's a general agreement. We'll try our best. I can't promise that that's what would happen, but we will try our best.
I think that makes sense. And I believe that we provided some direction at our last meeting in terms of what we would, the information, the type of information that we would be looking for to help understand the intensity of uses and the activities.
Yes,
Does anyone from the board want to weigh in before we open it up to public and see if there's any other
Well,
comments?
we don't want to, if we're going to continue it, we should either open here, we have to open the hearing, and then if we're going to enter new information.
Yeah, so
Oh.
my comment here, Paige, is if we're gonna continue, we'll continue. No discussion tonight, we'll just continue.
That works. Let's, I'm think in that case, then I'd entertain a motion to continue it to our next hearing on June 26th. I believe that's the updated date.
Yes, let me double check that. I think if the board had questions, Brad had a question, I see, that were not directly related to new information or just general information, I think that would be fine. I think we just have to, if we're not going to open the hearing.
Yes, it's not related to new information.
Okay, excuse me, Brad, one sec. It is the 26th, Madam Chair.
26th, thank you.
Very soon.
Sure. Yeah, Brad, if it's not new information, go right ahead.
Sure. I just want to try to understand what the past agreement was, is that they are not going to operate as a repair shop or a body shop until they have a permit. Is that correct? I just want to make sure, I just want to make sure that they will continue to do that.
Yeah, the current use for the land or for the property is as a detail shop.
Okay. So anything beyond that,
Should not be, and
they should not be doing that.
that is correct. And if there, if there is an issue with that, that would be for the building commissioner.
Okay.
I think that pretty much should answer that, Brett. I think.
Okay, because in the past, just one more thing, they've said that the work that's going on in there are
Brad,
employees.
I don't want to get this into discussion here.
Okay, I understand.
So let's just go for continuance.
Right. So yeah, is that if the board has any questions, they can email me offline too. I mean, I'm email me off of this line on my line.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob. So is there a motion to continue to our next meeting on June 26th?
I make
so-
a motion. Oh. Okay, I make a motion to continue this case until our next meeting on June 26th.
Thanks, Leslie.
And I'll second.
Thanks, Paul. Roll call vote. Leslie,
Yes,
Paul,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
and I am also a yes.
No, Brad is in a butter, so
Oh,
he
that's
can't.
right. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's still 3-0 to.
Actually, I'm not in a butter, but I have recused myself in the past, so I will continue to recuse myself.
Okay.
I
But
apologize.
don't check off. Don't leave board after this. After we continue, I got to talk to you for 1 second.
Okay. So I think with that, we'll continue. The hearing has been continued to June 26th. We'll take it up at that meeting. And Bill, it sounds like before we ask for a motion to adjourn, it sounds like there may be some updates or other business.
Good news. Our firearm bylaw that we all worked so hard on was adopted. Very, I don't have the exact percentage, but it was overwhelming. And I think,
19 to 9,
yeah, I
or
am,
19 to 9 or something like that.
Yeah. I am so impressed by the board's work on making this happen. I mean, everybody has worked on this in one form or another, and in my opinion, as a professional planner, it was so easy compared to other things we've done, having the cooperation of multiple boards, having a common goal, being able to work out issues, offline. We also had similar success with the accessory dwelling units, which I think the community, oh, I'm sorry, Joanna has it before I got into my thing. Joanna has her hand up.
But can I log off now or do I gotta stay on? I just don't wanna bother you guys.
Thanks.
Continue.
You can jump. And then if you have any questions about when to provide the information, you could follow up with Bill directly, not to speak for you, Bill.
Right. I object because this is good stuff I'm telling you.
I believe it. But I wanna work on getting everything get together. So for June
No,
26th.
of course, I was teasing.
All right, have a good day.
Bye. But thank you all for that. The ADU worked well. And most importantly, I mean, from the town standpoint, MBTA Communities was adopted 96% vote. That is so important to town. So that means the previous town meeting where Brad and Bill Crenshaw worked on the
Home-based business.
AHABA.
ABBA.
We nailed that one. And we really did a great job on this one too. That I've never had boards like this. So thank you all. And I would like to pass it on to John and Jerry as well, but I'm not kidding. I am so impressed by the work and dedication that everybody has shown in this. As you know, Paul and Brad and myself, and I can't remember who from the planning board is going to represent it, but we're going to start working sooner. We'll be a little bit before we get wound down from town meeting, but we're going to be working on the I can't remember what we called this, but our zoning correction, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, that's a great term.
But I mean, but I'll leave it at that. But thank you all. I am so grateful, and I know with the volunteer stuff, it is difficult, but thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all I have.
Well, I got one for you, Bill.
Why did I leave it open? All right. What's up, Paul?
I have not shared that weird email with the other members on the board. And so I would leave it up to you to explain why we are a money sink.
What? Well, we're what?
That was that email that I responded to you and that other fellow who claimed that we were a money sink. The zoning board is losing money.
I don't think I got that, Paul. Did I?
Yes, you did. You responded to my tirade.
Nice. Wow. Well, I hope I responded well.
No,
Yeah.
this was an email sent to the zoning board, the planning board, and the conservation board, saying that we're losing a lot of money because of the way we're drafting our minutes and all this other rubbish. We're losing a ton of money.
Oh, yes. Okay. Sorry. Yes, that's great. Been corrected. I think we've gotten everything squared away on that. But what we're going to do, what Paul's talking about, we use for minutes, because minutes with the planning board and the zoning board, and sometimes the economic development committee, can be lengthy. And we don't have. It's very difficult to get minutes done because the boards, understandably, are volunteers, and to have a board member take minutes that are detailed to what we tend to want is burdensome, and Paul correctly did address that. I mean, it's very difficult. It's impossible. There's zero chance I could put that in where I'm going to be doing it. So for the past, since you've known me, 10 years, we use an outside scribe, I guess would be the best word. So the idea was that when this was proposed, we thought, well, if we're going to be spending money.
Hi, is Danny there?
if we have money that we're going to be spending as a board from our budget, we have a little budget. Let's use town. Obviously people in town would be the first choice. And it's a tough, I mean, I get the rough ones. I tweak them a little bit and send them to you. So we lost we had 2 or 3 at any crack. We lost everyone, and we ended up using a transcribing service, which is like a court reporter type thing, which is probably overkill. As a matter of fact, it is overkill. So I am in the meantime was advertising for I advertise everywhere I can. I thought this would be a great gig for somebody that is at home for whatever reason and wants to make a few extra bucks and wants to work on their own time, because we record these. You could watch them, we don't care when you watch them, just get us some minutes, right? So this has worked for years, 10 years. We ended up using this transcribing service, and it went insane numbers. It like it's never been as significant. It's never been significant. It's like buying, paper for the copy machine in the past. And all of a sudden it ballooned. And the same thing happened with conservation, same thing happened with planning board, et cetera, et cetera. The OMS director, who absolutely is a good guy and trying to do things with the budget, sent a letter out asking all the chairs, because most of our boards and commissions do take their own minutes. But they don't deal with the type of things that we do, where there's findings, there's decisions, and he asked who could do it. And this is what we need to do. But so it was actually when I think I was in California when this happened, but he was right. And he sent it out, and Paul sent back. He did. It was warm and fuzzy, and it was, and it was about, wait a minute, we can't do this, so we'll lose our volunteers and blah 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 blah. And I get that, and I don't disagree with the thing he said. Now the good news is, we got a little more into budget, and I asked our former scribes if they would come back with a little more increase, and they agreed to. So I believe that problem solved. Now, Paul, I did not forward this to the rest of the board, as I didn't see the upside of that. But
No, that's fine, but I just wanted to let the rest of the board know that there is stuff that happens sort of administratively.
oh yes.
And this was one of those that the result impacts the board. If I said, sure, we could have one of us volunteer each week or each month to transcribe the notes, we'd probably lose people. Because
mind you, if somebody does want to speak up.
Yeah, but it's really difficult to be a participant if you're sitting there trying to figure out what everybody said and put it in order online, actively. So that was my point. And I think that I saw the one that conservation sent around saying almost exactly the same thing. They'll lose people if they have to use a board member to take notes.
To take real notes like we do.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You have to understand that a lot of the boards are strictly meeting opened at 8 o'clock. Paige voted to open the meeting. Leslie seconded it. Applicant came in, requested continuance, board granted it, meeting adjourned. I mean, if it was that, I could just do it. Heck, but anyway, I think we're fine with it. But it was a watershed moment I saved these letters, Paul, and they're very good. And it was a corker.
I kept it polite though, didn't I?
Oh, absolutely. No profanity. No. It was, I could, but it seemed like you had to be in like evening attire to make a letter, write a letter like that. Yeah, I'm sure there's a bow tie and this is an outrage. Our boards cannot be expected, But he
It's
was
probably
well,
that guy sitting next to you at town meeting, that guy across the aisle from you that got up every single time anything to do with money came up.
I don't want to say anything
Oh,
because I don't know who could be on the
Yeah.
line, but I would think he seemed to be very upset about a lot of things, and they seem to have a common denominator.
Yeah. Mm. Well,
So anyway, I just wanted to, have Bill describe it because I'm just a lonely zoning board kind of person, and this is an administrative thing, and he explained it as best he could, which was great. So that was all I had to bring up, and thank you, Bill, for responding.
Yes, I'm happy. I really am proud of the board, and this and we'll talk about my neighbor at another offline.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's all I had.
all right. Let's see. Now, do we have to call for an adjournment?
Yeah, but we don't
Make
need.
a mo-
I think you can just take a hand vote for this, Madam Chair, for
That
adjournment.
works for me.
Mhm.
Leslie, do you move to adjourn?
Oh, I
Didn't
make
need
a
it.
move. I move
Thanks.
to adjourn the meeting of the Maynard Zoning Board of Appeals.
All right, I'll second.
Thanks, Paul. And hand vote, or voice if you're not on
I'm in
camera.
favor of yes.
Thanks, Brad.
Sure.
Thanks, Paul.
Nobody wants to hang with me.
Unanimous vote.
Gonna come and bug you about the dark skies thing. You just watch out.
I'm happy. I got no problem with that, Leslie.
Good. Okay.
But we have to take care of your the other thing first. Now,
What
yeah,
other-
I'll talk to you. Give me a shout.
I will. I've got
All
tea and cups ready.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Hey.
Hi. Thanks,
Take care.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.